Hello and welcome. I'm Andrew. This is Morning Magic, where I go for the morning change, tell what's trending, and some jokes. Let's do it. We need to play 25 lands, playing some ranked. Please subscribe and like. I've got a giveaway going on. It's in the description or above. There's only a couple more days left for you to guess, and your chances are really good right now. I'm playing fish and chips. Fish and chips sounds good. Their name just makes you hungry. Trending Twitter, flagging tweets that have prematurely declared election victories for Trump. Also, the Nevada results are trending because if Biden wins Nevada, he will hit the 270 mark for electoral votes and win. And there are more results due today. What else is trending? Me? No, not trending yet. That'd be amazing. I don't think in MTG anything has ever been trending. Good game, fish and chips. Woo-wee. Shamu. Good game. Trending, the election prediction by Bernie Sanders when he was talking to Jimmy Fallon. Election day happenings has unfolded exactly as Bernie Sanders predicted. You'll have to watch that to see exactly what it predicted. But basically that Trump would be in the lead, and then mail-in ballots would come in and Biden would take the lead. Trending, Gary Peters. He wins the re-election in Michigan as the U.S. Senator. He was a Democrat. And finally, trending for Google was Walmart's Black Friday, which is already kicked off. I believe in miracles. Taxi, well done. That was a good game. Trending on YouTube, Fox News with the 2020 election results live. And right after that, trending is NBC News with live 2020 election results. And then we have something from yesterday, Brad Mondo. Charlie D'Amelio gets a Mondo makeover. On YouTube, the next thing is BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, with election results. Tight battle in key states. They care what we do too. The last thing trending on YouTube was Sapnap with Minecraft, but we can't see our health. And this is kind of interesting because I saw the tweet yesterday from Sapnap saying how happy they were, thrilled and shocked they were to be trending. So way to go. Good on you. Amused to Death says, no cheese for you. And we say, we want cheese, please. Good game. Disclaimer again, I don't pre-read these, so hopefully they're good and they don't offend anyone. I do not mean to offend. A Mormon and an Irishman are on a plane. A Mormon was seated next to an Irishman on a flight from London to the US. After the plane was airborne, drink orders were taken. The Irishman asked for a whiskey, which was promptly brought and placed before him. The flight attendant then asked the Mormon if he would like a drink. He replied in disgust, I'd rather be savagely raped by a dozen whores than let liquor touch my lips. The Irishman then handed his drink back to the attendant and said, me too. I didn't know we had the choice. Oh, Poop stinky. Good game. So the Pope is super early for his flight. He asks his driver on his way to the airport if he could drive around for a while because they have time to kill and he hasn't driven a car since becoming the Pope. Naturally, he's a bit rusty, so he's driving poorly when suddenly he sees police lights behind him. He pulls over, and when the officer comes up to the window, his eyes go wide. He says to the Pope, hold on for a minute, and goes back to his car to radio the chief. The cop, Chief, we have a situation. I've pulled over an important figure. Chief, how important? A governor or something? Cop, no sir, he's bigger. Chief, so what? A celebrity or something? Cop, more important, sir. Chief, a major politician? Cop, no sir, he's much more important. Well, who is it? Well, actually, I'm not sure, but the Pope's his driver. One day, Einstein has to speak at an important science conference. On the way there, he tells his driver that looks a bit like him, I'm sick of all of these conferences. I always say the same thing over and over. The driver agrees. You're right. As a driver, I attended all of them. And even though I don't know anything about science, I could give the conference in your place. That's a great idea, says Einstein. Let's switch places then. So they switch clothes, and as soon as they arrive, the driver dresses as Einstein, goes on stage and starts giving the usual speech, while the real Einstein dresses as the car driver attends it. But in the crowd, there's one scientist who wants to impress everyone and thinks of very difficult questions to ask Einstein, hoping he won't be able to respond. So this guy stands up and interrupts the conference by posing his very difficult questions. The whole room goes silent, holding their breath, waiting for the response. The driver looks at him, dead in the eye, and says, Sir, your question is so easy to answer that I'm going to let my driver reply to it for me. We'll take the victory. So NASA was preparing for the Apollo project. When NASA was preparing for the Apollo project, some of the training of the astronauts took place on a Navajo reservation. One day, A Navajo elder and his son were herding sheep and came across the space crew. The old man, who spoke only Navajo, asked a question that his son translated. "What are these guys in the big suits doing?" A member of the crew said they were practicing for their trip to the moon. The old man got all excited and asked if he could send a message to the moon with the astronauts. Recognizing a promotional opportunity, the NASA folks found a tape recorder. After the old man recorded his message, they asked his son to translate it. He refused. The NASA PR people brought the tape to the reservation where the rest of the tribe listened and laughed, but refused to translate the elder's message. Finally, the NASA crew called in an official government translator. His translation of the old man's message was, "Watch out for these guys. They have come to steal your land." The Germans and Americans were reaching a stalemate in World War I. In World War I, there was a trench warfare, and neither the Americans nor the Germans could get the upper hand. They were reaching a stalemate. One day, an American came up with a plan that would win them the war. This private explained his plan to his trenchmates, and they figured, why not? It's not like we have any better ideas. The next day, an American soldier called out, "Hans!" A German popped up and shouted back, "Ja!" Boom! The German was shot dead. The next day, the Americans shouted again, "Hans!" "Ja!" Shot dead. This process continued over the next couple of days. The Germans were losing large numbers and were now finally catching on. The Germans had an emergency meeting. They thought that they could come back from the heavy losses using the same tactics as the Americans. Thus, a German asked, "What is a popular American name?" "John." "John," an American called back. "Is that you, Hans?" "Ja." And that is how the Americans won the war. Good game. No final joke today. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Thanks for joining me. Bye.